This is insane. So not only does Shigaraki just have this humongous power up at the end of the last arc, but now again he's about to get an even bigger power up, and he's a freaking monster right now. This arc of My Hero Academia, the setups and the plays that is leading into whatever's coming, it looks like we're heading into a major bloodbath. Like, that's what it feels like we're heading into after the last two chapters of My Hero Academia, chapters 245 and 246. The League of Villains, I'm going to continue calling them that because the Imperial whatever, that's just no. The League itself is setting up some nasty things to come, but let's talk about it. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. Okay, so my bad, I didn't review last week's chapter 245. In case you missed it, I was out at New York Comic-Con, so I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but we're going to be talking about both last week's chapter and this week's chapter of My Hero Academia 245 and 246, which last week's chapter, for the most part, a lot of it was, again, more so delving into Hawks trying to pass off some information to Endeavor and all the people around, because he's very, very suspicious. And it's kind of funny how it was set up like, oh man, is Endeavor gonna be able to find this out? Like, is he just that much of a brute with no brains? But Endeavor figured that out pretty quick. Like, it was only within like a couple of pages in between that all of a sudden, which obviously is a little bit more time than just a couple pages that passed, but like the way it was done, it's showing that I guess the author Horikoshi, he's really looking at it and switching certain stereotypes, because normally, you know, throughout history they always try to paint a major, you know, muscle head and a brute as like an idiot, like they don't know how to do things mentally. But Endeavor not only has the might, the physical stature, he also mentally is on point, because chapter 245 of My Hero Academia starts off again. Hawks is passing out all the books to all these kids, which he's playing his role correctly. He's making it seem like he's really down for this villainous cause because they're watching his every move. Which it's also crazy. Hawks is only 22. I think that right there alone should inspire the, you know, Todoroki, Deku, Bakugo. Like, he's only, you know, about like what, I think they said 6 years apart from them. That's doable. Like, basically you could become the number 2 hero within 6 years. It's showing that maybe Deku is going to be a very young number 1 hero as he, you know, eventually continues on with his path and rises the ranks of being, you know, a hero. And chapter 245 introduced Endeavor's sidekick operation, which normally, like, you know, historically, hey, I have one sidekick and they might have a few people that help them out, but it's one sidekick. Like, even All Might, he had Night Eye, one sidekick. No. Endeavor, he does it bigger, doesn't do it at all. Dude got 30 sidekicks and they handle like 100 jobs a day. That right there blew my mind alone, that Endeavor's not playing. Like, he's again showing this is all creating his legacy. If All Might's legacy was, I do it all on my own, you know, maybe he had a sidekick at one point, but, you know, I'm the symbol of justice by myself. Endeavor's just gonna show like, okay, I may not be able to live up to the legacy you created and I don't really want to. I'm gonna create my own. I'm gonna have a league of 30 sidekicks that help me out. We do 100 jobs a day. I'm gonna do things my way. That's what I really got from seeing how his operation is run with, again, 30 freaking sidekicks. And you can see Bakugo and Todoroki are definitely really eager to work, especially Bakugo. Like, of course he's rude about it, but you gotta think, him and Todoroki missed out on the last one. I think they didn't have their license at that particular point in time, so they didn't really get to experience all of what's about to go down as far as being on this mission and, you know, helping out with an actual hero and doing all of that. So now is a good time for Bakugo and Todoroki to obtain some experience that they missed out on the last time. And going back to the whole message that Hawks left behind for Endeavor, it's basically foreshadowing that 4 months from now, it's about to go down. Shigaraki is going to destroy everything. So they pretty much got 4 months to get prepared, which is kind of making me wonder how long exactly between where we're at now with chapter 246 and these 4 months that, you know, we got to endure. Is it going to take in order to get to this big arc? Because it seems as though My Hero Academia might not be lasting that long. Now, we already know it was announced probably a few months ago, maybe over the summertime, something like that, early summer, that My Hero Academia isn't going to have any more movies. For what it's worth, whatever it may mean, it could mean that they're just not doing no more movies, or it could mean that My Hero Academia, even if it's just the Academia part, and they actually, you know, My Hero job or whatever, they might have a time skip, but My Hero might not last that long, especially when we get into chapter 246. A lot of what Shigaraki said, I'm like, okay, maybe my hero got like a couple more arcs to go and we're over. The chapter starts off very, very interesting. Every time we get back to the villains in My Hero Academia, you grab my attention. It starts off with Shigaraki and the doctor is actually keeping to his word, and he's starting this seemingly operation on Shigaraki because Shigaraki's like, you promised me that power, fam. Like that's why I want it. But also, I think that it continues to show something that I constantly say over and over, that Shigaraki is the flip side of the same coin as Deku. Remember, there was times where Deku's body was breaking apart, he couldn't handle the quirk, and he was training it little by little. Same thing is happening with Shigaraki, but opposed to how Deku did it, which don't get me wrong, Shigaraki did train a lot. The shit with Gigantomachia alone, that was incredible training. He wasn't sleeping, he was getting delusional, all sorts of stuff. But Deku, in order to stop his arm from breaking every time he used the, you know, one for all quirk, which I might have said all for one, but one for all quirk, Shigaraki is using some type of operation that is going to basically allow his body to be able to handle these high concentrations of quirks, which shows, again, he's taking somewhat of an easy way out, and that's more of a villainous standpoint, is that while Deku was like, okay, my body's breaking down, I just got to figure out how to do different things, I got to change it up, use less power when I'm using it. Shigaraki's like, nah, I'm gonna become even more of a monster, because he already just got that incredible power up that the doctor alone in the beginning of 246 is describing, of how monstrous of a power it is, how insane it is, and now he's about to get even more power. Like, Shigaraki's gonna be broken. There's a reason why a lot of people were very, very peeved and upset. Deku's getting 7 quirks. Oh my gosh, My Hero's Room, which, don't get me wrong, in terms of comparing it to the structure that was set forth in the rules of this world that was set forth in the beginning of My Hero Academia, where at most, like, you know, you might have somebody like Todoroki that was born with a couple of quirks, but you have 1 quirk. The fact that Deku's about to have 7 quirks, a lot of people are upset about it, but in terms of where Shigaraki's going with his power, yeah, Deku's going to need all 7 of those quirks if he's fighting against this entire army, Gigantomachia, and now an even more powered up Shigaraki. Because the doctor's giving the operation that this was actually originally intended for All For One. So he's doing it on Shigaraki, and again, it's something to do with the fact that quirks is getting so out of control strong that people's bodies won't be able to hold up. And in the future, like, they're already on what I think they said the 4th generation of quirk users, people are gonna just like not be able to exist using quirks. So this is an operation that he already had started for All For One, and he's about to do it on Shigaraki, and I'm like, bro, this is gonna be freaking crazy. It's too OP. And one of the things that it kind of reminded me of, you know, is tropes that we've seen in the past. It reminded me of like when Sasuke got his eye operation, or when Yusuke had that, I think it was that energy that was put inside of his body that he was going crazy or whatever, because he's going to, for the next 4 months, go through a hellish pain with whatever it is that the doctor's about to do to him, which I'm wondering exactly what is he doing to him, because he said like, oh, once this is done, you'll even be able to hold one for all. So is he gonna just like start inserting multiple artificial quirks into him, or is he just gonna be that ridiculously strong, or is he gonna give him one of the quirks? Like, I'm curious exactly what this operation is going to be. Like, we know that it's gonna heighten him and give him even more strength than he's ever had before, but also he'll be able to withstand, you know, using one for all. Like, is he gonna have artificial quirks put into him? Like, is Shigaraki gonna have 7 quirks to match Deku's 7? Like, I don't know, but that shit was freaking crazy. And on top of that, it even shows more of how this next generation is being more polished, and they're even stronger. They're growing stronger than the last generation, because this is one thing that All For One couldn't do. He could not use one for all. He couldn't withhold it. He was unsuccessful with that. If Shigaraki is able to do this, all bets are off, baby. All bets are off. And it also makes sense now, you know, the message that Hawks gave Endeavor, that it's going to take 4 months. And 4 months, the attack is going to begin, because Shigaraki is, you know, the crux of this whole operation. So while he's getting this surgery or whatever the heck is going to be happening to him, they're going to be biding their time. And it seems as though one of the big things is, opposed to before, where it felt as though the story was protecting the children and keeping them like, you know, stand back, y'all let the pros do it. Now it seems as though they're about to change it a bit, where Hawks was even relying on Endeavor, and I'm glad again that it switches just that whole stereotype of muscle heads have no brains, where he's telling Endeavor, like, prepare your interns, get these kids ready. These kids are our backup in case shit goes down and the heroes can't take out this army, because now we know that they have an incredibly large army. In 4 months, Shigaraki is about to go wild and try to just destroy the world. get these kids ready. They're the last line of defense, so to speak, which again, it changes a lot of My Hero, where we felt like for the longest it was like they always push the kids back, but little by little as they've grown, now they even more so nurturing them to get on that battlefield along with the pros. And it was crazy that it even showed, again, like just so much character development. Like Endeavor's always been so stubborn, I just want Todoroki, that's the only one, and initially that's what the sidekicks thought. He busts in the room, nah, I want all three of you. So seems as though we're about to get into a lot of training for all of the heroes of class 1A, and just in general it's going to be getting ready for a giant war. So I'm expecting great things. The fact that they're drumming this up this largely, this insanely, I'm expecting when we get to this big war in 4 months, I want to see bloodshed, baby. Like, I'm not saying that I'm bloodthirsty, but they're setting things up in an insane way. Shigaraki with more power than ever, possibly surpassing All for One. Deku is working on 7 quirks, at the very least by the 4-month time span, because it seems as though, again, the story might end. Shigaraki said this is going to be our next encounter will be our last. So this might be the final battle. By that point, maybe when the war starts, Deku needs to have majority, if not all, of those quirks mastered. And if he doesn't, during the fight and during the battles, you got to start learning them. But I'm curious what you guys thought about these past 2 chapters, 245 and 246 of My Hero Academia. What do you think about potentially Shigaraki's new power that he's going to have? Is he going to have an actual ability of using one for all, or how's that going to work? Also, what do you think it's going to go down in 4 months? Like, who's going to throw the first shot? I mean, we got a lot of people on both sides. We got on the villain side. We even got Destro, which I'm wondering if they are onto Hawks or not. I don't think they are, because he was like really excited that Hawks is passing out the books and pushing the ideology of Destro or whatever. But like, do you think that when this goes down, we're going to see some lives lost? Also, what do you think is going to be the transformation of Shigaraki after whatever it is that the doctor does on him? And your overall thoughts and expectations for My Hero Academia chapter 247 and beyond. Things is getting crazy. They're drumming up a major war, and I'm all hyped for it. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links, of course, in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in.
Enjoy the next ride, but I was the best ride.